Welcome guys, I'm going to do a review of the Fox Alien EXPro and the Fox Alien HFS 800 dust extraction. We're going to do, I've been running this machine for about a month now. Dust extraction works really well. It's quite noisy and it blows an awful lot of air out the top, so I'm thinking about putting a duct to go outside. Stop it, it's just blowing cold air everywhere. So yeah, apart from that, it works perfectly fine. The bin's not very big. I'd say a couple of smallish jobs, you have to empty it. So what I've been doing various bits of oak, MDF, pine. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take it off the shelf and have a look and see what the filters are like, because we've had 3 bin liners of chippings and dust come out of the box. So that's what we're going to do today. So let me just get them off the shelf. You might notice I've got some cabling linked. It's linked to the light up there, which is power earthed, and it comes down and links to the frame. It's all metal framework, so you only need to earth it in one spot. So I had some issues with static and the machine losing its complete bearings and doing whatever it wanted to do. I think I cured that a bit, but what I also done is put some ferric cores on all the cables down there. All them, they're all got ferric cores on them. That's just to take the static out, because obviously this is sucking up an awful lot of dust at a rapid rate. It's bouncing up these tubes, creating static, and the whole machine just like went into meltdown. I did notice that obviously before I'd done all that, any chippings that did come out was sticking to the dust shoe. And just pop that bit on. They were all sticking like little spikes all over, and that's a clear indication of a static issue. Hasn't done it since. Alright, so I made these up to go on the machine to protect the ball screws and the rails, because obviously if you're doing a deep thing, this has got enough depth in it to go all the way into, say, a 40mm bowl. So you know, you have to take that off and run it without it. Just keep the dust extraction on, keep the fine dust out of the air. So I made these and they're velcroed on, so just pull them off, clean it up, put them back on. Alright, I did make this dust shoe and got some longer bristles, glued it all together. Didn't obviously put enough glue in there, because the first time it touched the blade all fell apart. Alright, so Mark 2 of that will be coming up. Alright, and I need some way of clamping it on a bit better. So let me just get that down off the shelf and then we'll come back to you. Right guys, got it off the shelf. Let's open it up and see what mess is inside, if any. Shouldn't be any. There's a bit on the back here, look. That's all that's in that bag, so that's pretty good for 3 whole dustbin bin liners of dust. So these are the telltale ones. Let's see what these are like. Little bit in there, look. That's super fine dust. I'll leave them out and I'll give them a bash out. And this is the HEPA filter. Shouldn't be anything on this. Very little, look. Very, very little. That's probably just where it's sucking through this door. As you can see, it's on the back here, but it's not gone all the way through these filters. So that's a pretty good sign that this thing is actually doing a very good job of extracting super fine dust out of the air. Alright, so let's just give that a... It's not too bad, I'm not going to bugger about with it too much. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to put it back together and put it back on the shelf. Right, that's it guys, it's all back together, all cleaned out, filters banged, cleaned out. The next thing to talk about is the smart relay which I got over there. Obviously when you start a machine, Hoover comes on, router's supposed to come on. Right, these new modern routers now, you will find that they've all got a safety system on them, which I will demonstrate. So, turn it on, it works, okay. So then turn it off, turn the switch on to the router, turn the socket on, doesn't work. It's some safety thing that they've got, so when you're buggering about changing the bits, you accidentally knock it on, plug it back in, and the thing starts bouncing about all over the place, or takes your fingers off. That's to stop that happening. So to actually reset it, you have to turn it off, then turn it back on. It's a bit frustrating. You press the play button on your open builds, machine zooms off, router hasn't started, and I actually did it in a piece of pine, 18mm pine with about 8mm bit in it, and it actually cut a 6mm groove clean into the material like it was spinning. So now I've got it hardwired into the socket, or plugged into the socket. You just have to remember to turn it on every time and then turn it off when you stop the machine. The only problem with that is, hit the emergency stop button at a 40mm piece of oak, lift off the bed, it drove up like that and it was spinning round on there. I hit the emergency stop button, the machine stopped, the router was still going, and your brain's sort of like, what am I going to do? You have to turn the damn thing off. That's the only thing I will say. I don't know whether you can take that system out of this router, but that is one thing to remember. All modern routers are now going to have it, unless it's a really cheap one, which I've got attached to the bench here. I think it's just a cheap knockoff of this, but hasn't got that system in it, so it starts up all the time. But yeah, all modern routers will have that safety system in them, protect your fingers. Basically, you know, I'll put a description in the link, a link in the description about all the techno babble. 16mm ball screws on those axes, 12mm on the Z, all metal bearings on the wheels, free adjustment for when it's turned off. You can bring the carriage straight. NEMA 23 closed loops, just not supposed to lose their mind like the open looped ones, but it does with all the static, obviously, that I explained earlier. Hopefully that's been cured now. Moisture in the air is another problem you'll get with high speed machinery like this and that working together. You're going to create static off the moisture in the air. Alright, so that's why I've put these ferrite cores on all the leads. On the router I've done it both ends, all the others I've just done it, earthed it in, done it on plugs so that I can unplug it to take the Hoover down to clean it, and have to keep on doing the screws. That's about it really. There is an upgrade kit coming for this, to make it 800 by 400, and there's the linear rail kit. I'm not going to purchase that yet because I think we're going to go the 800 wide. It means you'd have to buy another linear rail to go on the top here, because this bit obviously goes that way. On the older ones they went front to back. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. It has knocked off a fair bit of time on some of the little projects I'm doing, and yeah, I'm still in that learning curve, and I'm quite happy with it. It's quite noisy when you've got that going, and if you get them both ramped at the same sort of speed, it's quite frustrating. One's got to be going faster than the other, otherwise you get like a stereo sort of buzzing in your head. Alright, but yeah, I'm using 8mm bit in this router for doing pockets, clearance. So yeah, right guys, I think that'll cover a few bases for today. Going to start doing a few more projects. We'll see how this goes with static issues. If it keeps doing that, then I'm going to have to think of something else. I'm going to have to like put it on a static mat or something like that, just to get rid of the static out of the base. Thanks guys. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything, helps the channel, and we can keep going. Thanks a lot.